landscape companies. And in light of the upcoming holiday, or just a really fun experiment activity with your kids, we are gonna show you how to naturally dye eggs for Easter using kitchen scraps that you might have or things that you might find in your yard. So what we started with today is I have just a bunch of parsley bits from my parsley plant in my garden. I had some leftover dill, some pieces from a cauliflower head, radish greens. My neighbor has a really beautiful hibiscus tree, or a hibiscus bush rather. She let me pick some of these flowers with ruby, and then purple cabbage, some onion skins, and of course your hard-boiled eggs. I'm also gonna give turmeric a try. Typically you'd wanna use a fresher ingredient. You'll get a higher potency of color. So we'll see how this goes. I have my water here boiling. You're gonna wanna do about 1/4 to 4 cups of water per your pot, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, so it helps penetrate the dye from your scraps or your plants. And then you're just gonna pop them in, get them boiling. So we're gonna put in our greens. I think that you could use grass clippings too, or spinach if you had it. And you're gonna wanna let all these things boil for about 30 minutes. And you can continue to check on the color until your desired color a little bit with like a clear cup or a spoon. We're just gonna pop all these right in. I did, for my bigger pot, put in a little bit more water so it wouldn't evaporate as it's boiling. And again, for 30 minutes, we're gonna put in our cabbage. And let's put in 2 tablespoons of our turmeric and see what happens. And really find anything around your neighborhood or in your yard or in your kitchen. Let your kids discover and see what will work and what won't. We're gonna let all these boil for about 30 minutes, and we're gonna come back, strain them, put them on our eggs, and let those sit and see how it turns out. All right, so we let all of our scraps and our plants boil for about 30 to 40 minutes until your desired color. I already went ahead and strained some of them, but I'm gonna show you how I do it, and then we'll go over the colors, maybe some other options that you can also choose for dyeing. So I have my last one, my hibiscus flowers. I just use like a little strainer. You could use cheesecloth if you wanted to. If you don't even have that, maybe like just a tea towel or a dish towel. So I just pour it in. Whoops, made a little bit of a mess. Made a really pretty pink color, and it smells so good. And then I'm just gonna pour it into the mason jar here. And not fill it up all the way so I can get an egg or 2 in there. But what worked really well was our cabbage, which is purple, and I think it should dye the egg blue actually. And then our onion skins created this really pretty light orange. And our turmeric, since I didn't have fresh turmeric and I used the powder, I couldn't really strain it, so it's at the bottom. So we'll see how that turns out. The really nice strong yellow color. And the thing that didn't work out was my greens, obviously not green. But what will work, I looked it up, grass clippings, which unfortunately we don't have in our yard, and neither do a couple of our neighbors. So couldn't ask them, but also mint if you have it, artichoke leaves, coneflower leaves work really great, and lilac leaves too, I read. So you can try those. Again, it's an experiment, so head outside, pick some plants, see what you think might work. Boil it down for 30 minutes. You wanna let it cool completely before you're gonna be putting your eggs in them. So make sure they're nice and cool along with your eggs being cool. And then you're just gonna drop them right in and let them sit. I'm gonna let them sit probably for about 20 minutes and then check on them and see what color they are. So we'll be back after that. Okay, we're back to our eggs, and they've been sitting for quite a bit longer than 30 minutes. They needed a little bit longer than I had said previously. And they're doing all right. So we've been checking them out and testing them and then dunking them in 2 different colors as we've gone. So that's how I've gotten the green. I dipped the egg in the yellow turmeric for about an hour and then 30 minutes in the cabbage one. And it made this really beautiful green. And then the way the egg was sitting kind of created this fun little circle pattern on it. The cabbage also made a full blue one, so you can see this one I dunked again to do another green. It's kind of like a yellow green. And then a nice dark blue one coming out of our cabbage. The turmeric is a really beautiful marigold. Excuse you. And then our onions have this really beautiful like terracotta sienna color on it, nice light orange. And then what's not working so great is our hibiscus flower. So what I think I'm gonna do is let this sit overnight in the refrigerator and then possibly dunk into the cabbage so it gets a little bit of a deeper pink. Because right now it's a very light pale pink that you can't really see on the camera. But enjoy happy dyeing and natural Easter eggs out of your home. Thanks for joining us.